Hey everybody! So I have a confession to make. Confession and an announcement. So I'm pregnant again. I'm just a couple days shy of 20 weeks, which for those of you who haven't been pregnant, don't do the weeks thing, that's just about the halfway mark. Here, proof! There's the proof. Oh my goodness, look at that. I wasn't this big last week, like really. This is in like the last week I've gotten huge. Hello, fifth baby. I haven't even told a lot of people yet with this one, just haven't. I've just been telling people as it comes up. So that's why you get to find out today, because it worked out that the couple weeks where I was doing really, really poorly coincided with one of my appointments with my dad go with my midwife. Usually, especially in a clinical setting, like in the doctor's office, it just like automatically suppresses itself, and it would be difficult for me to make it come out, I guess. It just like, I don't know, something about being in the doctor's office especially. I mean in public in general, but especially in a clinical setting. Yeah, the day I had the appointment that I had just a couple weeks ago, I was really struggling to keep things together, and I think it was just the combination of that plus being really sleep deprived because of a number of things, and also I didn't have the kids with me. I had someone else watching them, so it was just me there by myself, whereas usually I have them with me. Plus, there are two midwives in the practice, but it was the one that she runs the practice, and I really trust and value her opinion. The other one is very new to the practice. She wasn't there with our last kid, so I've only met her like a couple times, so I'm pretty sure it was just the alignment of all of those things. Somebody who I trust, who I feel very comfortable with, and just already having a very difficult day being able to control them very much at all. And not having the kids with me and feeling like the extra pressure of, don't be scaring the children. Don't scare the children! My midwife was able to observe directly some of my more moderate / severe tics / shaking, and she was pretty concerned about it, which is kind of a first. When this came back like full force, it was when we were pregnant with our third child, and the OB was kind of like, well, if it gets worse, then we'll see about setting you up with a neurologist, or we'll see what happens. But that was really the first time I felt like someone has really paid attention and actually put some vested interest in trying to figure out what's going on. So she asked a ton of questions about, is it better when you do this? Is it worse? Does stress make it worse? Does sleeping help, like getting better sleep? And she put me on a bunch of different supplements, which so I wrote out, like, I've got a little, not a script really, but kind of notes, because otherwise I'm going to forget where I'm steering this conversation or this monologue. But so in my notes, I'm like, well, I've been sleeping better, and that was true for a couple days, and now is not true again. So I don't know if the supplements are helping or not. And I've had fewer headaches and migraines, so maybe that's a nice little side effect there. Bananas. Hello. 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 Turpentine. Oh my goodness. So, she would really like me to get in to see a neurologist, which, for those of you who haven't seen all of my videos, the last time, well, when this all first started, which was a solid decade ago, y'all, a decade ago, I went to a neurologist. I had a lot of tests done. We did an EEG, we did an MRI, tilt table, I don't know what all, but we had a lot of different tests done, and I was put on Ativan, and absolutely hated it. Like, it was the worst. Zombie mode. It was bad. I strongly just, oh man, I hated that so much. So as soon as I possibly could, and things started kind of dying down on their own, I weaned myself off of that just as fast as I could, because it was horrible. Awful. But nobody had any answers about why all of this had started or what was going on. So then when it got really bad again, 4 years ago, and I ended up back at the ER. Because, like now, a night like the one I had when we went to the ER, I wouldn't do the same thing, because it's kind of normal now. But it was a really bad night, and I had no idea what was going on. I was kind of freaking out, and I was pregnant, so I was really concerned about our baby. And so yeah, we went to the ER and had kind of an emergency visit with a neurologist the next day, and he was very dismissive. I think he probably thought I was trying to manipulate the system, or I was just a hysterical woman, which I never, I don't know if there's a thing about male doctors particularly, not really listening to women, or kind of brushing off their symptoms, which I didn't really believe. I had a male pediatrician growing up. I've had a male OB. They've seemed fine to me. And I'm like, I don't think this is a real thing. It's whatever. But I definitely felt that way with this neurologist. And so after a pretty brief conversation, he decided that I had psychogenic seizures and was like, come back in a month. Why I needed to come back in a month, I don't really know. Because there was nothing, that was it. That was the whole, bananas. That was the whole, visit. So I came back a month later, and I was like, well, listen, I've researched it. I've, really considered my symptoms, what's going on, and it just doesn't seem to match up to me. And he was just like, oh, well, then it's an iron deficiency. Take some iron and come back in a month. So, I didn't go back. Why would I go back? So yeah, it was a really difficult time. There was, especially the first couple days after the whole psychogenic seizure thing, where I was like, am I in my right mind even? Like, can I trust my mind? And it was a very dark time for me. So yeah, I have no desire to repeat that at all whatsoever. But I would really like to know what is going on. It would be great if I found somebody who was actually wanting to listen to me and help me figure out the situation, instead of automatically assuming it's a mental issue and not being very receptive when I've, said, well, I think maybe that could be wrong based on XYZ, just kind of being completely ignored. I don't think that was a run-on sentence. I'm sorry. Anyway, we did find a female neurologist who happens who specializes in movement disorders in my area. So I got kind of excited, like maybe this is finally the opportunity to get some answers. So we got in contact with them, but they're booked until like February. It's a long time. And for those of you who have seen my other videos, you know that this probably isn't going to be much, if any, of an issue by the time we get to February, March. I'm having a difficult day. I had a couple good days, actually, and then yesterday and today have been more difficult, for sure. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, it doesn't really make sense to me. Like, it seems stupid to go to the neurologist in, February, March, when most of the problem is probably going to not be a problem at that point, and it's going to be another, 6 to 8 months before it's really a problem again. Like, it doesn't make sense, does it? Like, what's the point even? So yeah, that's where I am. I mean, at least we tried, right? Like, we tried, we got closer, we at least contacted a neurologist this year. So, I think probably I'm just gonna be stuck again for this year. I mean, unless I wanted to go to ER, which is not at all appealing, and I definitely can't guarantee the neurologist I would see if I went there, and that's a stupid plan too. I'm not gonna, no. We're not doing that. So yeah, it kind of stinks, but it is really helpful just knowing that there is someone who cares now. Like, my midwife is very concerned and trying to help me figure out things that will help. She, like I said, she's had me on a lot of supplements. She wants me to exercise a little bit every night to try to help with things, because exercise does help to an extent. I have other things. She wants me to eat more fish. Just different things that she thinks might help, that might as well try, right? So, but yeah, just having somebody helping or trying to help figure things out is kind of big, because up to this point it's just kind of been me trying to do research and trying to figure things out on my own. So, at least there's that. So yeah, that's about it. I do have a Theory Thursday thing coming up. Hopefully this Thursday I will have something, because there are some things I want to talk about. And Theory Thursday is the day to do it. So, that's it, guys. See ya.